Dava Sundara Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Goranita, Jaya Goranita, Goranita, Jaya Goranita. Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Srila Prabhupada. Nitai Haribo, 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 Haribo. Jaya Vishnupad Paramahamsa, Parivrajacharya, Astovathaspat Srimad Divine Grace, His Companionacharya, Srila Abhacharya Vinda Bhakti Vedanta Swami Prabhupada Maharaj Ki Jai. Jaya Vishnupad Paramahamsa, Parivrajacharya, Astovathaspat Srimad Divine Grace, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Goswami Prabhupada Maharaj Ki Jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vena Ki Jai. Namacharya Sri Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Prem Sri Kahau Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadara Sri Vasari Sri Gaura Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai. Sri Sri Radha Krishna Gopal Gopinath Samakunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhana Ki Jai. Savindavan Dham Ki Jai. Simaya Navadev Dham Ki Jai. Jagannath Dham Ki Jai. Ganga Maya Yamuna Maya Ki Jai. Srimati Tulsi Devi Bhakti Devi Ki Jai. Sama Veda Bhakta Vena Ki Jai. Nitai Gaur Premanandi Hari. All glories to the summon devotees, all glories to the summon devotees, all glories to the summon devotees, all glories to Sigura and Guranga. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Cheva Narottamam Devim Saraswati Vyasa Tato Jaya Mudirai Nasta Praye Svabhadrisu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Sloke Bhakti Bhavaiti Naistiki. So Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 53, Text 26 to 28. The title of this chapter is Krishna Kidnaps Rukmini. Text 26. Evam Tayati Bala Govinda Ritamanasa Nyamilayata Kalagya Netre Chasru Kalakule. You have your electronic gaskets. When I get to 28 before we recite, right? Yeah. All right. So 26, the translation. As she thought in this way, the young maiden, whose mind had been stolen by Krishna, closed her tear-filled eyes, remembering that there was still time. Purport. Srila Siddha Swami explains the word Kalagya as follows. Rukmini thought, it is not even the right time yet for Govinda to come, and thus she felt a bit consoled. 37. Evam vadva pratikshantya Govinda gamanam ripa Vamauru Bujo Netram Asfuram Priya Bashinaha. O king, as the bride thus awaited for the arrival of Govinda, she felt a twitch in her left thigh, arm, and eye. This was a sign that something desirable would happen. So 28. Ata Krishna Vinidista Saeva Dvijasatamaha Antapura Charim Devim Rajaputrim Dadasaha Ata Krishna Vinidista Saeva Dvijasatamaha Antapura Charim Devim Rajaputrim Dadasaha. Can someone try? Anyone else? Okay, word for word translation. Translation and purport by the followers of Srila Prabhupada. Ata, then, Krishna Vinidishtaha, ordered by Lord Krishna, Saha, that, Eva, very, Dvija, or learned Brahmanas, Sattamaha, the most pure, Antapura, within the inner palace, Charim, stain, Devim, the goddess, the goddess Rukmini, Raja, of the king, Putrim, the daughter, Tadasaha, so. Translation. Just then the purest of learned Brahmanas, following Krishna's order, came to see the divine princess Rukmini within the inner chambers of the palace. Please kindly responsibly repeat. Just then, the purest of learned Brahmanas, following Krishna's order, came to see the divine princess Rukmini within the inner chambers of the palace. Purport. According to Sridhar Swami, Sri Krishna had reached the gardens outside the city, and out of concern for Rukmini, he had instructed the Brahmana to tell her of his arrival. Panchakalpatarevacha, Kritasindhyayevacha, Patitanam Pavanabhyo Vaishnavabhyo Namo Namah Vishnu Padaya Krishna Vinstaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Swami Nam Namaste Saraswati Gauravani Pacharine Anirvasesa Samyambhari Pasatyantistai Vande Sri Krishna Chaitanya Nityananda Sahoditra Vatadaya Puspavantu Chita Chandatamura Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadara Sri Vasudeva Gaura Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Panchakalpatarevacha Kritasindhyayevacha Vaishnavabhyo. So this is very much of a social context. The narrative is very instructive. Now, in the Vedic culture, there are different ways of getting married, different ways of getting hooked up with a bride or a bridegroom. And here, this very narrative is about the very approach of marriage, or the very approach to marriage that is based on kidnapping. Kidnapping is not a very good thing. Kidnapping is a crime in most countries. But when Krishna kidnaps someone, kidnaps Rukmini, it's not a crime. Because Rukmini is it's an expansion of Krishna's internal potency. It's an expansion of Radharani. And so the question of crime does not arise. if you go and pick up your suitcase from the boot of the car, or from the luggage area of the train, or from the luggage area of the airport when you just arrived, you're not committing any crime. So Rukmini is actually Krishna's property, and therefore the question of attributing the incident of him resorting to kidnapping, even that was proposed by Rukmini. Otherwise, if a man wants to go and kidnap a woman, at least there'll be some struggle, So during the Swayamvara of Rukmini, she wanted Krishna to be there and kidnap her. She wrote a letter to Krishna, sent through a Brahmin. And she didn't stop there. She wanted to make some prayers. She went the extra mile to petition the goddess Bhavani, Ambika. Sometimes we quote Krishna's instructions in the Gita, worship of demigods. What did Krishna say in the Gita? Alpamates. So, would we say Rukmini's worship of Ambika? The problem is that people see this type of scenarios and they want to take advantage of it. But even Rukmini worship, goddess Ambika, goddess Bhavani. So what's wrong in me worshiping, the sun god? What's wrong in me worshiping Durga? What's wrong in me worshiping Ganesh? In your scriptures, Krishna's wife, Rukmini, she worshipped demigod. This is called rationalization. We pick up something from the scriptures and we rest our argument, what we want to do, we rest it on that. Because that is favorable to our cause. Selective choice. We don't want to take everything that is mentioned in the scriptures. We don't want to follow everything that is mentioned in the scripture. But, the one that favors us, we'll pick it up and say, yeah, this is it. So, it's a pretty intriguing scenario for a girl to write a letter to a boy, a letter to a man. Hey, come kidnap me. During my wedding ceremony, you come and kidnap me. And she was praying she prayed fervently to Mother Bhavani that her wish be fulfilled. In fact, even other gopis in Vrindavan, they pray to Kalyani for Krishna to be their husband. So, yes, you can worship the demigods, okay. But for what? If we want to worship the demigods to be able to attain Krishna, to marry Krishna, that's okay. But in most cases, what people do is that they approach the demigods to ask for material gains. And that is where Krishna condemns it. Yes, it's a good time. So it is important in this story how Rukmini, because Krishna is her internal consort, internal husband. And therefore, she was making different arrangements. Originally, her father Bhishmaka, through the efforts of Rukmi, the son, wanted to give in the hand of Rukmini to Sisupal. And Sisupal is very inimical towards Krishna. So the idea of Krishna having to go to Bhishma's kingdom to kidnap Rukmini, that was a very dangerous effort, dangerous attempt. So when Krishna had left for Bhishma's kingdom, Balaram realized that, hey, wait a minute, he's gone to kidnap Rukmini just by himself? This is very dangerous. So Balaram has to go with a whole troop of infantry ready for war, because he knew there'll be trouble. So look at it. Sometimes you'll find that people are of the same parents, they're siblings. I know a case of a sibling who want to hire assassins to kill his brother. But here Balaram is going to protect his brother. See the difference? So it just shows how the love and support is needed. Even the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Balaram knew Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Yet he felt uncomfortable to let him go alone for this venture. So he took a whole bunch of soldiers and went there. Just in case something happens, he will be there to protect his brother. So one may say, well, I'm a devotee, so I don't have any brother to protect. I've left home, I'm now living in a temple, all my life is for Krishna. Yeah, but then even the devotees around us, we are one family, and so the devotees around us are brothers. And therefore, just like Balaram did not sit back to watch Krishna go to endanger his life by dint of the attempt to kidnap Rukmini, he went there to be able to give some support or to protect him. We should also have this type of mindset of being protective to the devotees around us. To being lovingly disposed to the devotees around us. Look, these are stories, these are leelas. Yes, but each leela, what is the implication of the leela in our own social and spiritual developments? You know what, in other words, what do we take home from? What do we take home with? We've been hearing this story, for years. So, Balaram shows how we should be caring, how we should be lovingly disposed, how we should be protective of the devotees around us. Someone told me a story in France. So there was one lady who was doing Sankirtan, female devotee who was doing Sankirtan. And then she went by herself to go to see some homeless person. And then the homeless person raped her. So I asked the person who was telling me the story that, why would the authority make this type of policy that female devotees, they go by themselves, singly, to go out for preaching and then to meet people who are, of that caliber of homeless people. So you're endangering the life of the devotees, because the person was asking me, why did Krishna not protect this lady? I said, what do you mean by why did Krishna not protect this lady? You put your hand into fire and you ask Krishna, why don't you protect me? So, if we are lovingly disposed to our devotees, if we are caring, we will not endanger their lives in that way. We will not send a single woman to go and meet a man all in the name of preaching privately. Because what happened, what could happen, you couldn't tell. So although Krishna was as strong as anything else, but Balaram, out of concern, he was very protective. So he went there, and at that time, Krishna went into the gardens, and then sent the Brahmin to go and tell Rukmini that he's around, because Rukmini was in anxiety. Or maybe he finds some fault in me, and he just refused to come. You know, when girls are of marriageable age, they are in anxiety. And especially when they spot someone that they like. And that is not forthcoming. That could cause a terrible depression. So people who are giving birth, who have female kids, they have to understand the psychology of the girls. They want somebody, and that should be arranged. If you force someone, like, Bhishmaka was trying to force Sisupal on Rukmini, but she didn't want it. So she went the extra length to make some private arrangements herself. It was not an arranged marriage in this case. The arranged marriage, she didn't like it. So the choice of the girl child should be taken into consideration. The choice of the girl child. We have to ask, do you like this man? We have got some suitor for you, but this is the profile. Do you like this person? Yeah, we've checked all of the compatibility charts. You are compatible, but do you like this person? Because marriage is a lifetime project. You don't go into marriage today and then you leave tomorrow because you don't like the person. And therefore, investigations should be properly conducted before our devotees get married. Otherwise, there will be dissatisfaction, and their Krishna consciousness could be ruined. So, to prevent any type of catastrophe, Rukmini went ahead to make private arrangements. She is very intelligent. She went to the goddess to pray, and the goddess blessed her. So, there are a number of social instructions that could be derived from this very narrative. But marriage is an imperative factor because human beings are social animals, and some people, they can't afford to remain single. They can't afford to remain alone. But if someone wants to get married, there should be proper arrangement. We should not force someone on someone. It will work, because that was the case of Bhishmaka. So Rukmini resorted to being kidnapped. And kidnapping was one of the processes of marriage in those times. So it is important for us to understand that Rukmini was not making the arrangement for the sake of arrangement, but Rukmini is the eternal consort of Lord Krishna. It's a matter of rejoining. And so things were easily facilitated. So when the Brahmin came to tell Rukmini that Krishna has arrived, her joy knew no bounds. Because she was in anxiety, and when she got the information from the Brahmin that Krishna had arrived, he's in the gardens, watching, Then her whole mood changed. And during the wedding, they were in procession. It's mentioned in this same chapter, it's mentioned that, all the while when Rukmini left her chambers to the temple to the 𝐉𝐻𝐽 temple, she was heavily guarded with security. But from the temple to the palace, she walked by herself. And that's where Krishna kidnapped her. It's a whole strategy, Krishna pull her up on the chariot, she quickly jumped onto the chariot. If someone is really kidnapping you, you will not jump onto the chariot, you will struggle. So, but then based on the arrangement that she made, here's my chance. So zoom, she went. So, for social life means objectivity. Give the people concerned a chance. They should make a choice. I am the senior brother. You must marry this person. Okay, if you like the person, you go marry the person yourself. Yeah, that is the implication of what Rukmini did. So it's a good lesson to be able to imbibe a culture of social choice. Social choice. Even when we have children, we should allow them to have social choice. In India, it's very common, parents force their children to go and do particular specific courses that they like, the parents like. Am I wrong? And so even in America, American Indians, the parents, they force their children to do that. I remember one devotee who was under my care. The father had a PhD in clinical research. Mother has 2 masters. But then they wanted this girl to go and do medicine. So I thought, if medicine is so easy, why don't your parents become doctors? And to study for her degree and then pre-med in America, you have to, if you want to go and do medicine, you have to graduate in a particular field before you start thinking about medicine. You have to go to a first degree, then you start thinking about how to go to do medicine, how to go to medical school. It's not like in India and London, where from HSC you can just go directly to medical school. No. So this devotee, she had a lot of difficulties because she was doing engineering. She was reading engineering. And then you'll be doing, along with your studies, along with your degree program, pre-med. It's an extra burden. And so sometimes people fail out from their main degree program even. So, but then these are caused by parents. And sometimes from these children, they commit suicide. And these are caused by the parents. They force their ideas on their children. Like Bhishmaka and Rukmini, they are forcing their ideas on Rukmini. But Rukmini was very sharp. She was super intelligent. She made some private arrangements. And zoom, she's gone. Yeah. Any comments or questions?
But we see that culture of India, the Hindu culture, mostly children are taught how to obey their parents, and like this is considered a very high culture, and to not disobey and to something very low. So, and what you spoke just about, it is also quite logical, because to force something is also kind of, people are committing suicide because of that. So what is the path?
Yeah, parents should grow up. In America, they say, grow up. You need to grow up. Change your attitude. And this is a time for people to be able to have shared understanding, shared leadership, shared family development. I mean, like you find a number of women who are married, especially in this country, they're not happy because they have all this imposition from the husband and abuse. See, one of my friends is doing his PhD now. I remember he told me, he's from a family of 3. He's the only boy, the other 2 are girls. That's why he couldn't be a brahmachari. So he told me how his father is very imposing. Impose his ideas on everybody. And very insulting. So one day, they were going, he was driving a car, the family car, and he stopped on the highway, and bolted out from the car, banged the car, and walked away. Because he said the father's attitude was so much like pressuring everyone in the family. You don't pressure grown-up people. When they are 18, you give them independence. Find out from them what they want. In fact, it's against the international law for anyone of 18 years or above to be pressured. You give them independence. You find out what they want and you facilitate that. You don't force people to go to do medicine when you are not even a medical doctor. I've seen cases in America where students of Indian origin, they commit suicide because of the pressure. But it's the parents who put them in that position. It's good to motivate your child, motivate your kids in terms of, performance and educational achievement. But don't impose your ideas on the child. Parents need to be educated. They need to grow up because it is having adverse effect on the society. People are committing suicide because of those type of impositions. See, engineering is a very good, lucrative area of, in the academics. But not everyone has the brain to pursue engineering programs. Because it involves so much of mathematics and statistics in most cases. I remember when I was doing my doctorate, my PhD program, and we were doing a course, statistics, PhD level statistics. There were 11 students in that class. All of them collaborated. The professor, a white guy, he detected and cancelled all of their work. He's supposed to have reported to the school authorities, and they would have been suspended. He's a nice guy. So he just asked them to redo their work. So engineering, mathematics, statistics, these are very difficult areas. So we should not impose these courses on our children. Let the children see what is best, what their soft spot, and then pursue. We're trying to, recently, some years back, we're trying to arrange a course. One of my mentees, she's a lawyer, she wanted to go and do a doctorate program. So we started checking out some courses in the different universities. And I said, why don't you do this? Why don't you do this? She said, oh, that one I've seen through the curriculum, it involves mathematics. So she didn't want to go and do anything that has to do with mathematics. And then she went to do some course, health law, and the course she did not involve mathematics. She has graduated. She's a doctor of law. So if you don't have a deep understanding about academia and you want to force your child against their will, you just frustrate them. If you don't understand the deep concepts of social relationship, you force your child against their will to marry a particular person, marry a particular man, a particular girl, they are not going to be happy. So the arrangements, when being made, the child also should be consulted. You have to figure out. I remember one of my friends in America, Indian boy, he has an MBA, he works in America in the computer industry. He told me how he got married, and 5 years' time they divorced. 5 years' time, it was just fracas all through the 5 years' time. Just fracas all through. But when the parents were arranging, father is a medical doctor. The mother is a big woman too. So when the arrangements were being made, they consulted him, they showed him the girls, and that they checked for the compatibilities and all this stuff. And when the mother comes to show him particular girls, and he made a choice. And then the mother said, "You're a fool. This girl is not beautiful. You take this." He was forced against his will. The mother wants a particular girl, and he wanted another girl, and then the mother forced. Is like you said, Indian kids, they're very submissive to their parents. And the parents sometimes they take undue advantage of that. So the mother forced this girl on him. They got married. See, he told me when they went on honeymoon, it was all fight, all true. During the honeymoon, and the fight continued for 5 years. Then they agreed to divorce. So this is a typical case where the mother imposed her idea on its son. So, yeah, the practical thing is that it's not bringing fruitful result. There should be consultations. There should be shared communication, shared leadership, shared implication of social values. Yeah.
But we see that those children who by themselves, they get into love marriage and other things.
No, I'm not talking about the children being independent to get into love marriage. I said the consultation, decisions, everyone should agree. The person who is going to get married should also agree. I mean, it's like the case of Rukmini. There was no consultation. They just imposed it on her. You're going to marry this person because Rukmini, her brother, is favorably disposed to Sisupal. Okay? That's the point. That's the point. Yeah. Love marriage in most cases results to, unenduring relationship. Because the attraction there is purely based on lust. And it's mentioned how Rukmini, she was so beautiful. When she came before the kings, they fainted. Yeah. So, yeah, this is very good. I remember one guy. That time I was very active on Facebook. So one of my Indian friends, he had a PhD, a young boy in his 20s. He had a PhD. He was pursuing another PhD, and then we were very close friends at that time. So he got attracted, all in the name of preaching on the internet. So he was speaking with one girl, but then this girl was already married, and so he told me he likes this girl. He wants to marry. One day he just busted out crying when he was talking to this girl, but then the girl came to tell me about what was happening. So I advised him that this girl is married, so why are you bothering? There are so many women who are not married. Why are you bothering them? And if you want to marry, consult with your parents. You don't just single-handedly, you're an Indian boy. You don't single-handedly go and search for a girl and you marry, and it may not last. So he raised this issue of kidnapping, that he would just go and kidnap the girl. I said, Krishna, you tried that, you'll be arrested. Yeah. So, yeah, social life, we should work in conjunction with the family. But people should not impose. The imposition on Rukmini didn't work. It may not work for anybody else too. So there should be an agreement. The bride or the groom and the parents, they should agree on the particular choice. That's my point. Any other comments? Yes. Yes? Yeah, you are audible.
We see in the episode, it was Samba who tried to kidnap Lakshmana. And right now, no one to support. We will find Balaram is supporting, and Krishna could not agree. This is what we said, but we find that Samba will be captured by the good members. So why it happened like that? No one to support him when he was going to get mad.
Yeah. What transpired was that Samba was on his own. Samba was on his own. Krishna also went on his own. But then Balaram thought, hey, no, this is dangerous. I'll go and support him. It shows also that we should not individually, single-handedly invest our energies on particular social ventures. We should speak with friends or speak with family members so that we can get some support. The point there is support. It's so important. Support is so important. Yeah, remember the incident of Samba. So, Samba did not get any support because he did not inform anybody in what he was, was deliberating on. But in case of Krishna's situation, family members knew, Balaram knew. And when he left by himself. But then when he left by himself, Balaram came along to be able to create a fortress just in case there is some trouble. Because in all cases of kidnapping means you're doing something against the family, the girl's family wish. And so they will not sit back and don't watch you, okay? You remember the case of somebody captured him and then they tortured him and all this stuff? But Krishna had to come and then rescue him at some point in time.
Krishna is self-sufficient. He is support. Krishna Balaram because of Samba, he was simplified one letter in front of the Gurus.
Yeah.
But they want to get support.
Yeah. We need support. That's the implication of that. We need support. Devotees need loving care and support. Don't say, well, I've been there for 20 years, 30 years, 50 years. I can do everything by myself. No, we need support. Samba went without any support. He was captured. Krishna went, although he's the Supreme Personality of Godhead, but he had support from military phalanxes. So, yeah, it's a good lesson for us. Support. This is a practical case. How lack of support creates failure. So we should support each other. We are one family, Krishna's family. All right? What's the time now? Is it 9 o'clock? All right. Sorry. So we'd like to stop there. Or I would like to adjourn this meeting. And hopefully, next time when I come, I should be able to stay a little bit longer. I'm leaving tomorrow. Yeah. You have a very quiet environment here. And all of you, you're very lovingly disposed. So I hope that I'm able to come to stay for, some days. I've been away, I've been traveling for some university and academic presentations. We went to Kharagpur for a presentation to an audience of professors and graduate students and undergraduate students. We made some presentation on sonic therapeutic intervention for self-leadership. Sonic therapeutic intervention, it sounds very alluring to the academia, because a number of them believe that they don't believe in God. So, but it's the same thing. I chant Hare Krishna to them, but if you say you want to come to chant Hare Krishna, they will say, no, we are religious. We don't believe in God. So I made a presentation. They liked it so much. After the presentation, a number of those students, they came to me, can I take a photo with you? Can I take a photo with you? Can I take a photo with you? So it was pretty nice. Yeah, and then yesterday, or day before, I think yesterday. Yeah, yesterday, we had another big program at the university, at Rama University. That was by Zoom. But our program was specifically for the professors, and some students were there, and it was well attended. So because of my specialty, my PhD is in applied management and decision sciences, so I try to use my skills in helping to spread the message of the holy name, or spreading Krishna's holy name, but in a very indirect way, using their own words to be able to just cover up everything. And then when they allow me to enter, then I still chant the same mantra that they may say, oh, this is religious stuff. And then they like it, Yeah. All right. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai.